UFC Vegas 28 was not bad at all. There's a lot of people bad-mouthing it, and I swear every week, Blake, we get maybe on paper what seems to be a slightly lackluster card, and it always seems to exceed expectations. Some really solid knockouts from this last weekend. Also, a possible round of the year candidate for what we got too. And also, I probably shouldn't talk about it if I'm being honest, but there's something very compelling to bring up. Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. So whether you like it or not, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what Colby Covington said about Jorge Masvidal. Also going to give a little quick recap of what we thought about the episode 1 of Tough 29. And then, of course, finishing things off, huge rematches at UFC 263. And so, of course, we got to get the Blake's bangers for those. And, of course, our predictions for those titles. And last but not least, man, we got you with our Nene of the Week. But, of course, I'm your host, Ross Allen. This is UFC Talk 47. And I am joined alongside by none other than the UFC correspondent, Blake Campbell. Blake, how are we feeling after this weekend of one good card and one just embarrassing thing for combat sports?
I don't know, man. I think Ocho Cinco held it up pretty well.
It was entertaining to say.
He was okay. But no,
I'm
I'm doing good, man. You know, another week. We got to see some fights this weekend, so can't complain.
Hey, it's always a good weekend when we got that. And before I hop into things, Blake, man, can you stop getting banned? Because first it's you on Rocket League, now it's you on Twitter for calling out Jake Paul. Okay, like what's going on with you, man? Is everything okay?
You know, I just had a few too many last night. I apologize for my vulgar language.
Wasn't really vulgar, but okay.
I will try to represent myself in a better manner going forward.
Hey Blake, that sounded very corporate of you, and we're not corporate. Well, technically we're a corporation, but you know what I mean. I swear, if you guys didn't see the tweet, I saw it before it got taken down. It's funny as hell. But if you haven't seen it yet, Blake came out and said after the Logan Paul fight, Jake Paul, you're a bitch. I'd beat your ass right now this instant, you little girl. At Jake Paul, fight me, please. I'll beat you up and your brother easy peasy. W, my backyard, don't matter, you're fat. And I would like to point out that even while hammered, he still used the correct yours every single time. So that means that all of you out there have no excuse, especially when you're sober. Use the right grammar, okay?
I was drinking since like freaking 11:30 a.m.
Jeez.
So, you know, I stand by what I said though. Like if Jake wants to fight, bro, sign me up for 500K.
Hey, fourth and long promotions is on its way, okay? Man, Blake, I get my ass whipped for $1,000, quite frankly. But, you know, you'd be able to make a lot more money right in that. And before we get into UFC Vegas 28 now, just got to give a shout out to our sponsors. First off, for all of your sports prop betting needs, go on over to thrivefantasy.com or download the Thrive Fantasy app on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. And so this app allows you to do sports prop betting. Super easy, super simple. They do all the guesswork for you, so you don't even have to think as much because, you know, Blake, thinking hurts. And when you use it, right? It's facts. And when you use the promo code Fourth and Long on deposits of $20 and up to $50, they will match you dollar per dollar. And then also go on over to patreon.com/fourthandlong in order to become a very prestigious member of our Patreon group. And for just $1 a month, you can get behind-the-scenes coverage, bonus content, and a whole hell of a lot more. So like I said, going over to patreon.com/fourthandlong to get started on that today. But Blake, Blake's banker sort of missed, right? You know, leaving versus Pools, you know, not good. And Walt Harris versus Marcin Tybura, it was just very painful to watch. And while I say miss, they absolutely miss. Blake, you suck. What the hell was this? Okay, I'm highly disappointed.
I think you're just talking some crazy talk right now. There was one bad choice.
Was it a bad choice or was it a god awful choice?
It's one of the worst choices of the year, probably since the since the beginning of Blake's bangers.
I think that's what we're going to have to do right at the end of the year. We're going to give you like your 3 best bangers and your 3 biggest misses, right?
There's going to be a lot to choose from, though. It's like 3 from every card. So.
Yeah. I got my work cut out for me.
I like it, though. I like it. Yeah, the Levitt, I mean, you can't fault me for picking it. The dude freaking slammed a guy
In
on his head,
seconds.
knocked him out. Like, he looked legit, but, I mean, in this fight, it just showed he's kind of lost on his feet out there.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the best stand-up game. He looked kind of slow almost.
Pretty sure he'd get pieced up by Chase Hooper.
And in the lightweight, well, I don't know, man. That would probably be an interesting fight if Levitt's not too much bigger than him.
I would like to see a grappling match between the two.
Could be interesting. But yeah, I mean, just not a fun fight. Not a fun fight at all.
Nah.
The Tybura fight, I don't know.
It was a good fight, but also I just
Walt
hated
Harris,
seeing Walt Harris, man.
Yeah, it just
I
sucks.
feel bad for him.
Tybura, I mean, and he had Tybura on the ropes a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of stunned him with that with one of those punches that he threw. Really looked like he wobbled his legs a little bit, but then Tybura really, gathered himself, collected himself, and turned it on, and ended up getting the finish. So I mean, props to that guy. I think he's on a 5-fight winning streak now.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and of course he's on 5-fight win streak, and of course we're going to get to that a little more in depth once we get to that co-main event.
Yeah.
But Blake, what I want to talk about first is this fight between, it wasn't less of a fight. It's more of a Tabitha Ricci getting knocked the hell out.
Yeah.
And wow. And I'm still pissed that this fight did not get a performance of the night bonus because, how could you not give it here, man? And
yeah. Well,
and Fiora, what's nice?
It was kind of an ass whooping, but
yeah,
there wasn't much resistance.
No, I think that's worthy of a performance bonus. So more than what maybe Tybura got, if I'm being honest. But like Ferrari, she's going to be a problem, not for the champion of the flyweight division, but for the top 5 of the flyweight division, I would say.
It interests me already, though, because, I mean, do you see anyone else in that division with as ferocious of hands?
Hell no.
Combinations?
Hell no.
That looks like it could give anyone trouble, really.
Mm-hmm.
She's a savage. I mean, she looks violent. She's throwing violent out there. It was a fun fight to watch. She wasn't even on my radar coming into this weekend. I think I missed her debut fight because was that her second fight in the UFC?
I believe so.
I think it was, because I think she was also fighting someone else who no, maybe I'm making that up.
Are you making that up?
Anyway,
that was her, second fight, because the first one was on the Chiesa Magni card on the fantastic Wednesday fight card.
Yeah. Yes, it was underrated for sure. But no, this Fiora girl, even her first fight, when they were showing the highlights, I was like, man, if I had seen that fight, she probably would have been a banger this week.
Yeah,
because man, she lets them fly. So I'm very intrigued. I really want to see who her next matchup is. I mean, you can give her a top 15 already easily.
Oh, easily.
Top 10, damn near. So
man, top 5.
she looks, and why not let her get a few finishes up to the top? Get
you just Cynthia Calvia already.
Nah, Cynthia. I think Cynthia and Andrade are running it.
Yeah, which makes sense, but.
I think Andrade probably knocks her, but we'll see.
She should be on the hot track, though, for, she could rocket of this division, And
yeah, she's awesome.
Might as well, because who the hell else is going to contend against Valentina Shevchenko at this point in time?
They've already all tried, basically.
Right. So I'm glad we're getting some new blood in here that looks legit. And so, like you said, I'm super excited for her next fight. Next one I want to talk about is, shout out to Team Alpha Male on this one, of course, because we always love our Team Alpha Male guys. But this one was Mason Jones, the Dragon. And he gave Alan Patrick an ass whooping. And he gave him an ass whooping so hard that Patrick took the first opportunity out of this fight that he received.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so... I felt so bad for Mason Jones, because you saw that. And it's just,
what's crazy is it should have been stopped. It could, maybe not should have, but it could have been stopped.
It could have,
easily.
Jones was teeing off on this guy.
Yeah,
and he was, and it sucks because by rule, yes,
that was an eye poke.
Yes, and by rule, it's a no contest. But while it might not show on his record, we all know he won this fight and he was winning easily. And that's why I think it's so lame when Patrick came out and said, I believe it was on Monday, that he thinks it's fair for them to run this fight back.
What's gonna be? What's gonna happen the next time?
He's gonna get his ass whooped again, and this time it's probably finished.
Whatever. If he wants to do that, then that's cool.
If Mason Jones wants an easy dub, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully, just don't poke him in the eye again, you know.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's every week, right? Every week there's an eye poke, there's a no contest, there's something stupid happening.
Hey, Blake,
so
hold on. Can I say something? Hey, UFC! Change your freaking gloves, okay? Come on, man. How many times are we going to go through this? How many freaking times are we going to go through this until they finally go, hey, Trevor Whitman, you're the greatest coach in MMA history, and then also you make some fantastic gloves. How about we stop being some greedy sons of bitches, and we just pay you, and we'll just use your design for gloves, and we'll pay you through that. It'll be fair. So we won't have all this, man.
Yep. It's a very, frequent topic, so maybe one day something will be done about it. But for right now, I know fighters really like not having that restriction, with their hands and their fingers. But, I mean, look at how many fights it affects.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's 3 fights on this card alone that had eye pokes.
Yeah. It was almost like in a row, too, I want to say.
It was all in the prelims, at least.
Yeah, it was getting out of control. I was like, oh my gosh, another one. I felt like DJ Khaled, bro. Another one.
Yeah, no, it's tough. And I really would love to see, honestly, if you want to throw Mason Jones into maybe fringe top 15 competition, or hell, maybe even one of the top 15 guys, I wouldn't be opposed to this because he looks really good.
He's man, was he a lightweight or a featherweight?
Lightweight.
Okay, I thought, okay. In the lightweight, that's tough, man. But yeah, he needs to step up in competition.
Yeah.
If they run this fight back, which would be weird because we know how the story goes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would love to see him fight someone either fringe top 15 or in the top 15.
If Drew Dober loses 263 this weekend, wouldn't be the worst thing. Drew Dober at 13 right now in that lightweight division. Could be a good matchup, but man,
depending on how much of a war he's in, dude.
Right. All I know is I'm super excited about this fight, this fighter. I'm super excited to see where we go from here. And then, man, Blake, if you want to hit on your Blake's bangers, this was one of the easiest picks you could ever do. Anything with Santiago Ponzinibbio is going to be a home freaking run because he went against KO artist Miguel Baeza, and this easily takes fight of the night. And this did give us a solid round of the year contender, and I wouldn't be surprised if this won it because, man, this fight was so damn good. And if you're a fight fan, this is exactly what you're looking for every single weekend, Just 2 dudes duking it out, and I'm
laying it all on the line.
Right? I have no idea how none of these guys got their lights put out.
Yeah, those leg kicks seemed brutal, man. That Baeza was throwing, and Ponzinibbio was absorbing, but somehow, some way, he fought through that brutal round in that first round and a half, and just ended up putting it on Baeza. I mean, I don't know how Baeza was standing at the end of it either, because Ponzinibbio was hitting him with everything he had. I mean, both of those guys went out there,
and they were clean shots, man.
We're just slinging, man. Yeah, both of them landed some really clean shots. So it was just kind of like a tale of 2 halves almost, but Ponzinibbio just had a little bit more in the tank, had a little bit more, I don't want to say heart, but drive maybe. He just wanted it a little more, you could tell.
And I enjoyed this fight just so much more because while I was watching this, I was enjoying one hell of a brisket sandwich. And so, yeah, having a good time,
I think I was eating some Panda Express. Kind of ashamed of myself.
I think I won up you in the food category here, Blake.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, a very enjoyable fight. But after this, he goes out and he wants to get back on track and to, quote, prove that he is back. He calls out Vincente Luque, Gilbert Burns, or Wonderboy Thompson. And although I think these would be fantastic fights, it might be too much too soon. And there's still plenty of competition near, between 10 and 15 of that welterweight division. So where do you think he would be best suited to fit in next?
I love that Luque call out. But who does he have coming? Does he have anyone coming up? He just had that Woodley fight, was it, right?
Yeah.
So he's available.
He is available. And wouldn't that be a fireworks of a fight, man? That's
crazy.
That's probably the year contender right there.
And that's Brazil versus Argentina, so that'll be big in the South America.
That's good stuff, man. That would be a good fight.
I think that'd be a good fight. We'll see.
Yeah, probably not going to get a Wonder Boy or Burns.
No,
but
they're too high up right now.
But man, Luque 5. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And
yeah, because I mean, Ponzinibbio was there before. It's just he had a long layoff.
Yeah, you get taken off the rankings.
The Leech taking him out kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's the fight game. Stuff like that happens. And then him taking out Baeza, a guy who is a Contender Series alum.
And a fighter.
And a guy that's come up, I think his first 3 fights in the UFC have all I want to say been finishes. And he's just been, you know, proven that he's a young killer. Goes in, you know, Ponzinibbio goes in, takes him out.
Yeah,
I have so much respect for that.
Right, and Baeza, he was 10-0 before this. You know,
yeah.
He had two fights in the UFC, a knockout, and then a submission. So, the Carmel Thunder, fantastic nickname, of course. By the way, he's going to be good, but Ponzinibbio is just damn good.
I think he's going to learn from this fight. Obviously,
yeah.
Baeza.
Once you're able to shake off the CT he received.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. These are one of those fights, though, that he's going to be able to, you know, pull back from and really, you know, that's going to make him just better in the long run, I think, because he's already showed he's got what it takes. He's a legitimate guy in this division. So, I'm excited for his next step. He's still, in my mind, didn't really lose anything.
No.
But with this performance, he just has some things he needs to work on. And Ponzinibbio, that Luque fight would be killer. We'll see what's up next.
Hey, Sean Shelby, man, do us a solid, please. We'll really appreciate it. I promise. And then that will take us on into the co-main, where kind of what we touched on, talking about Blake Spankers earlier in this, is that Walt Harris falls into almost the same trap he did against Alistair Overeem, where he gets off to a really hot start, has the guy on the ropes, and then he kind of gasses out. You could probably say the same thing for his fight against Alexander Volkov, too. Kind of gasses out. The guy gets taken to the ground. He gets finished. And this is exactly what Marcin Tybura did. And I do not want to take anything away from Tybura because this was a really good win for him. And this is going to propel him into the upper echelon of this heavyweight division. A really good heavyweight division. But also, just watching this, man, I just saw it. And I just couldn't feel anything but really bad for Walt Harris.
It's the fight game, man.
Yeah, the fight game sucks sometimes, dude. I don't like it.
The blueprint had been laid out, you know. It's up to the fighter to make the adjustments, and unfortunately, Walt Harris hasn't been able to make the necessary adjustments. But I'm sure, I don't know if that was his last fight on the contract or not, but I'm sure he'll be back. He'll bounce back. He really knows what he needs to work on now, you know. So his next fight's going to be very telling. After that, it might be Bellator time, unfortunately.
At least let's stop focusing on the bad because I personally just feel awful talking about that. Marcin Tybura. Let's see what's next for him. He called for a step up in competition. He's sticking here at number 12. What's funny is that the UFC website currently has a typo where he's listed as 11, even though he's actually 12. So that's good stuff there, UFC. What we could do is we can brush on Augustus Sakai. Of course, he lost in the main event of this to Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Or what I would like to see is, I think it would be a solid test for either fighter, Marcin Tybura versus Chris Daukaus. A young fighter to the UFC, a guy that's been putting on solid performances. His hands hit heavy and they come at you quick. I think this would be a fun fight, a really good proven fight for either guy in their fairly early UFC career.
Yeah, that would be a good fight. We'll see if Tybura is about it. But he did say a step up, and that would technically be a step down in competition.
Yeah.
Just rankings-wise.
Yeah, rankings-wise. But it's also hard to really get too much higher.
Right. Because everyone's kind of tied up other than that, right? Because Volkov and Gane?
Yeah.
Gane? I always say that wrong. Gane, right?
Yeah, Cyril Gane.
Volkov and Gane. Blades doesn't have anyone right now, right?
Well, but also, Blades is going to have...
And then Rozenstruik is...
Rozenstruik is going to be fighting Blades. So yeah, we'll save that.
Lewis and Miocic probably, you know,
And there's no way in hell we're going to feed Marcin Tybura to Stipe Miocic.
So, yeah, I would say Sakai.
Well,
Galkis.
where's John Jones in all this, Blake?
Where's who?
John Jones, man.
Oh, John Jones? Yeah, he's...
Oh, man.
Not a factor right now, I guess.
He's a non-factor, that's for damn sure. So, it's almost like you might have to... If Tybura really wants a high step up in competition, you might have to wait,
yeah.
You know? Also, that wouldn't be the worst move.
He's got a 5-fight win streak. He kind of deserves to call it a shot, you know? Yeah. I think that would be the smart move for his career.
And so if he just waits like maybe a month and stuff like that, nothing too long, but there'll be some fights settled by then.
Yeah.
And so that wouldn't be the worst thing, you know. That Volkov and Gane fight would go down by then. I think that's on June 26th. Yeah. So I'd wait for that and maybe fight the loser of that.
Yeah.
I think that could be solid. And then, like, we were going off of, we got a little bit ahead of ourselves with some matchmaking, but let's roll on to the main event of the evening. This is Rozenstruik versus Augusto Sakai. And after going 1-2 in his last 3 fights, the reason of Rozenstruik gets a large, last second KO, 4:59 of the first round, drops Sakai, finishes on the ground right before time expires, and he gets back to winning. This was a really solid win, and the way he looked in this fight looked a lot similar to that undefeated Rozenstruik that we used to see.
Yeah, he didn't look hesitant that evening.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, man. It's so weird. They kind of detailed it on the broadcast, but like when he hits people, it doesn't even look like he's hitting them that hard. Like the one that it looked like, the punch that looked like it put him down, it looked like he barely tapped him, and then that follow-up shot was obviously just
Isn't that scary, man? But he'll graze you and not put your lights out.
Everyone's saying he's got that Joshua Fabia touch of death.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man, that was some legit touch of death right there.
I went to the school of self-awareness, you know?
It's still one of the dumbest, most, I guess, ironic names of all time with that one. But like I said, we did get a little ahead of ourselves, but for Rozenstruik's next fight, there's one name. There's only one realistic matchup they could put here. That's Razor Blades. I'm
with it. I think that'd be a good test.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be a good test for both of them.
Mm-hmm. And for something like this, especially after that devastating KO that Blades suffered at the hands of Derek Lewis, man, that was still such a fun, huge knockout. Obviously, his chin's going to be in a little bit of a question at this point, right?
A little bit, yeah.
So, I feel like that punch would put anyone out, but still, Blades in the past has never really been known for like having an iron chin. But it's going to be interesting because
he's also been knocked out by like Ngannou.
Yeah. So
RIP. It's not his fault, man.
No,
he's hit by a semi truck.
Yeah, that's a great point. But curiously, this is going to be an interesting matchup because one's obviously a striker, one's obviously more of a wrestler. And so I like these stylistically and also just rankings-wise and fights-wise and who has one scheduled, who doesn't. This probably makes the most point at this time, Maybe
it makes the most sense, I'd say.
Maybe the winner of Volkov and Gane, but I feel like that might be a bit more stretch. I like Curtis Blades in this situation.
Yeah, because that would be another probably few month wait to get that fight set up.
Exactly.
Blades if he's healthy, they can make that fight in a few months, in a couple months.
Mm-hmm. It could be some good stuff. Because Rozenstruik did not take that much damage against Sakai. Sakai might have been off a little bit more than he could chew in this matchup. But that's going to do it for UFC Vegas 28. Roll into some headlines from us. And one of the bigger ones, not because I want it to be, but just because everyone's talking about it. Let's talk about Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. And my thoughts on this, Blake, is I put this on Twitter. If you thought that this fight was going to go any other way than it did, you're an idiot. Straight up. Yeah. I don't want to be
the moment they announced that there weren't judges,
Yeah. Come on, man.
You kind of figured.
Come on, man. And also, Floyd Mayweather I know it's one of the greatest boxers of all time versus a YouTuber. But also Floyd Mayweather has never really been a knockout guy. Mm-hmm. He's been the guy that tires you out, pieces you up, points you up, and gets easy wins. And you, come on, dude. We really.
Well, especially the fact that he didn't have as many rounds as he usually has to work, right? He only
had 8. Also, he was outweighed by like 35, 45 pounds. Yeah. So
and they looked like a huge difference in there.
Yeah, and then if you expected Logan Paul to be able to even touch Floyd Mayweather, I think he landed like 15% of his attempted strikes.
He did land a couple pretty nice strikes, though. Yeah. I gotta give him some credit.
Yes,
but it really wasn't. I mean, Floyd was barely even breathing hard at the end of the exhibition.
Man, at the end of round, at the start of the second round, you saw Logan's mouth wide open. It was like, oh, it's over. It's over.
You saw that flurry at the end of the first round where he just looked like Tarzan. Oh my god!
It's like
he looked like Donkey Kong going crazy.
You know when people kind of do the speed bag, right, where you just kind of throwing your hands over. It looked like that, where he was just kind of throwing stuff, and it
didn't even look that good though. It looked more like when like you're getting attacked by a hive of bees. You're just flailing your like. You ever see those dudes at the car auto sales people where they have the guys in the wind, the blow up things. Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Oh,
anyway, it wasn't hurting Floyd, I'll tell you that.
Oh no,
not affecting him.
I think Logan might have landed 1 to 2 shots that Floyd felt, but on the shots he did land, man, he was just crazy. And that's why one of the nice things about Floyd Mayweather, one of the things that he's really good at, is that his ability to feel out range, to be right at the edge of someone's reach, is nothing short of just magnificent. And so, and then both of them got paid a crap ton of money. I think Logan Paul made like $50 million. Floyd Mayweather with endorsements, probably, I think he made around like 200, and he made 200 million to go out, land a bunch of punches, and not get hit for 40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, some people are saying it's a loss for Floyd because he didn't knock him out.
Yeah,
but I mean, at the same time, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It wasn't that serious.
People are saying it hurt his legacy. No, if you think this is anything other than a money grab by Floyd Mayweather. Right? Like, you can't tell me that Floyd Mayweather was actually trying to knock this guy out. In periods, maybe. Also, if you saw that video going around, it actually looked like he did knock him out.
No, dude, that was a cut video. You can tell.
You can't.
That was a cut video.
It looked, from that video, it looked like it, but no. Logan Paul was just giving Floyd Mayweather a nice big hug,
I would have liked to see him try a little harder. I mean, who knows? He's the only one that really knows how hard he was trying, but it just didn't. From the outside looking in, it did not look like he put his 100% full effort into finishing that fight.
No, but at the same time, I don't really blame him.
I think he could have got it though, and it probably would have been a round 10 finish if it was.
Well, he was piecing him up bad in like the 6th and 7th round.
Those body shots were killer.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, we can all agree Jake Paul is garbage, literal human garbage. But Logan Paul, especially the promo he cut after the fight, I don't hate the man. I think he's kind of all right, actually.
Who did he call out?
He was just talking about like a second fight between the two, but he didn't really call out anyone. He was more just almost humble, which is really weird to me.
Yeah, but he's got to be. They got to have one likable brother, right?
Right. I guess you got to have the bad brother.
The other one's the problem child, Got to keep up the personas, but yeah.
And Jake Paul, look, I mean, when he was saying on camera that that Logan beat Floyd Mayweather, I genuinely don't know if he's joking or if he actually thinks that. I think he actually believes that Logan Paul won. That guy's a loon.
Delusional.
That guy is absolute loon. Oh, man. But I will say, and I hate to say it, Blake, I was entertained by that fight.
It was okay.
I was. Did I pay money for it? I totally did. I totally did not illegally stream that fight. All in all, not too bad. I'll give it like not a thumbs up. I'll give it like a thumb at a 45-degree angle, you know? Just, it's almost there, but it's not bad. So, still did not like that event at all. And then the next thing, Blake, is that Colby Covington came out last week and said that he was no longer interested in a fight with Jorge Masvidal. And I have to say, there's a lot of people disappointed by this, just because, man, it would be a fantastic fight. And it would be a really cool build-up and a lot of trash talk. But at the same time, Colby, he's going for the title. He doesn't need Jorge. Jorge's trash. Also, you already had some words about Jorge when we kind of mentioned this a little bit, too.
Yeah, I just thought it was a very big missed opportunity, him and Colby to do tough.
Yeah. Man, that would have been so good.
That would have been the best season in show history, damn near.
Would have been better than Conor and Faber.
I don't know. That one was still pretty good.
That was a fun one.
That's some good moments. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. Gamebred, I think, has just kind of missed the mark here in this last kind of year and a half. Basically, since the whole Darren Till fight and Ben Askren fight, really, it's been kind of downhill for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I guess the Nate Diaz fight went okay, but
yeah,
yeah, I don't know, man. He's lost a lot of respect.
Jorge did. What do you think about Colby though in this situation? What are your thoughts on him?
I think if he gets the title shot, it's fair play. But after he gets the title, if he does get the title shot, or if he doesn't get the title shot, it's back to work. He's got to get a fight.
Yeah. Where do you go if he doesn't get this title shot? Is a thing though. Well, no. Well,
there's going to be a few fights available.
Didn't already say that he's going to get this fight, so.
Plus Burns and Wonderboy are coming up soon. Like, there's going to be tons of fights available.
Yeah. They need to hurry up just and make this fight official for the welterweight. Really, just hurry up and do it, because the amount of advertisements and what they could do for this fight is going to be nothing but fantastic, you know. And we already know that you're going to see 1,000 replays of Colby Covington getting knocked down. Straight up. Man. But Blake, of course, every Tuesday, the day that this show typically releases, is the new episode of Tough. And so what I would like to do for you guys is kind of give our, like, a little bit of a recap of the previous episode, kind of look forward to the next episode. Just a little short one every week that this goes on. Of course, what happened on Tough 29, the episode, the first episode was, I thought it was a solid episode. And I really enjoyed it, because I didn't really have too high of expectations with, Volkanovski and Ortega being the coaches. But I was pretty blown away, and it's a good cast of people, so I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job with everyone, really. I'm nerding out a little bit. I love Tough, so I've watched all the interviews that they did online on YouTube. They have like 5 to 10 minute segments with each of the fighters, and kind of go through their personal stories a little bit. But really, I think they did a great job picking the cast members. I mean, no one really seems too weird, and there's definitely some weird characters like Aaron Phillips, obviously, but, and Ricky Tercios, but they all just seem to have their own unique flavor. Like, weird's not even the right word to use, I feel like, because they're just unique and have so many cool, funny stories to tell, and that just where all these guys come from, it's so cool to see all their individual kind of upbringings and how it led them to where they're at now, and who's going to be the cream that rises to the top.
I guess the only thing that I don't like about Tough is I just want all of them to win. I feel bad. I felt bad for Aaron Phillips after he lost to Andre Petrovsky, excuse me. Because, man, I just want all of them to do good. They all got good stories, They all got the feel-good stories. So when they lose, it's like, damn, man. But at the same time, I want these guys to win. It's a weird balance we got to play watching this.
Yeah, you can't get too emotionally invested, because it's a rough sport.
I think it's like watching Game of Thrones, right? You can't really have a favorite character, because they're probably going to die. And then, right, with this, you can't have a favorite
guy. Very Games of Thrones like.
It is fighting, so It gets similar, but that first fight was Andre Petroski versus Aaron Phillips. Petroski, a huge ground game guy. Aaron Phillips, a little bit more of a striker, but Petroski, he gets the fight to the ground. He gets a solid, was an inverted guillotine is what it ended up being. And to be honest, I didn't even really think that Phillips was in that much of danger, but then he tapped, and it was like, oh, damn, Andre had that in, so a solid first fight for him. He moves on to the semifinals in the middleweights, but obviously he's going to have some work to do when it comes to stand-up.
Yeah, agreed.
And then, just because it's fun, and it's really, obviously, we've watched one episode, we've seen some guys train and do some light sparring, and we saw 2 people fight. But we're still going to take a hack at it and give our guess for who one of the finalists might be. And for me, Blake, it might be because I might be cheating. I'm going off of what I guess the little bit I've seen. There's a lot of promotion for him. He did an interview with Okamoto. So I'm going to guess Trey Gore is going to be one of the finalists this year. Or Trayshawn Gore.
Okay, that's cool.
What do you think?
I think I'm going to have to go for middleweights. I'm going to do Brian Battle just purely because of his name.
It's a badass name. Man, I wish I could.
Since we're just taking shots in the dark,
Right. No, that's essential with this. Last name Battle. That's good stuff. But super excited for episode 2, especially with the kind of hype they're building, that there's looking like some arguments and some trash talking, all that fun kind of stuff. So you bet I'm going to be watching as soon as it drops.
Okay. Looks like it's going to be a solid season.
Oh yeah. My expectations were low, like I said, but I'm really excited about this because Tough is always just so damn entertaining. But Blake, that's going to bring us to the best time of the week, because it's none other than Blake's bangers for UFC 263. Quite frankly, how good this card is, you could probably pick 10 fights to pick your Blake's bangers. It's almost tough to limit it to 3 this week. So let's hear what you got.
Yeah, it is a tough week to say the least. But you know what?
You can't lose.
We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make the choices.
If you miss, that's gonna be tough, man.
We're gonna do the main event of the prelims.
Okay.
Drew Dober and Brad Riddell.
Love it.
That's just gonna be a striking war.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's gonna get probably knocked the F out.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2 fight, super easy call again. Nate Diaz, 209, Stockton Slap, 3-piece and a soda, Leon Edwards. Sorry, my guy. That's just the only nickname you have to deal with right now. What even is his nickname? It's something like kind of basic. I thought it was like
Rocky.
Oh,
that's
okay.
right.
I'm not the biggest fan of that. So
yeah.
Anyway, Nate Diaz smokes weed. That's hella cool. That's my second fight,
especially in a 5-round non-title fight or main event too,
which always suits Nate as long as he doesn't get busted up and have a freaking fat cut in his head and the doctor gets in the way. So just Nate, don't get cut too much.
Hey Nate, just slap the doctor, okay?
Because he turns stuff around. Round 3, round 4 is when he starts getting going. So I'm really excited for that fight.
Just can't bleed.
And then of course my last banger. It's going to be Figueiredo versus Moreno 2, the rematch, because that first fight was just so damn good.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're both going to be at their peaks this time. Hopefully there's no food poisoning, whatever the problem was with Figueiredo's camp the first time. Hopefully
being
both
in hospital
come in
twice, like 24 hours before the fight.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, Moreno is turning into one of my dark horse, favorite fighters in the UFC. He just seems like a sweetheart. I know that's kind of sus to describe a guy as a sweetheart, but if you watch the Embedded, if you see some of his, some of the content that he puts out, he, collects those Funko Pop, figurines, and he builds Legos and all this. It's just so wholesome, man. He's just such a nice young man.
Imagine thinking some of that collects these little figurines that builds
Legos. He just beats your ass.
Yeah, he'll kill you.
He just kill you. Yeah, he just kill you with his bare hands.
Hey, if you break his Legos, he will mess you up.
Yeah.
Don't touch them. Some other fights I guess you want to look out for is going to be ones like I'm interested to see.
There's too many, bro. My goodness. We can name the whole card.
I'll name the whole card. I'll do my best, but I want to see what Chase Hooper is able to do against Stephen Pearson, Carlos Felipe, Jake Collier. And then also, Eric Anders and Aaron Circo run the back, even though Anders was piecing this dude up. So they had the no contest because of the knee to the head. I think that was actually the week after what happened with Aljo and Piotr Jan. So
I'm gonna say this. Mm-hmm. I may be totally dead wrong, but Lauren Murphy, and Joanne Calderwood could be a decent fight for the flyweight division. There's some strikers.
At the least, it has title fight implications.
It could. It very well could.
Man, Paul Craig and Jamal Hill. That is good stuff.
That's going to be a good one, too.
A Bully B, and then also Damian Maia. Oh, man, love that. Damian Maia might be his last fight in the UFC.
We'll see.
And then also, I mean, I know I just listed every fight on this card, excuse me, but I'm so excited for it.
I think we maybe left off like
maybe.
I think 2 or 3.
I don't care.
I know we left off 4. We left off 4.
So it's all good. All of these fights are going to be good. But Izzy versus Vettori, man, I'm still torn on this slightly. I'm
going Izzy.
I'm going Izzy, but we did see the game plan that had the Izzy with Jan. But also the thing is, he was about 20 pounds heavier, and he implemented that game plan. But also, I do like the fight.
And also, Izzy's gotten to work on that too now.
Exactly. But Vettori, he's riding a hot streak. I kind of think he won the first fight between them. Of course, had a split decision. I think it's Izzy's 3rd fight in the UFC. But both these guys are riding 5 fights. They're both undefeated since then. So, at the least, it's going to be really exciting. I think. Vettori, if he's able to get it to the ground, it could be a tough night at the office. But we give a prediction for that. For the co-main, Blake, who are you rolling with?
I'm going with Moreno.
Ooh, I'm sorry. I'm
a little bit of a surprise pick there, huh?
I'm going to have to go with the God of War. Just because he looked solid in that first fight. Then also he looked that good while having all those medical issues with him. So I think a full camp, and then assuming he's going to be healthy by fight night, might do a lot of good for him. But if Brandon Moreno wins, I'm not really going to complain. And then capping off, our last prediction is going to be for the 5-round fight between Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz. Who you got?
How bad does Nate want it? That's the question.
How bad does he want it? Does he want a Conor McGregor bad?
This is a tough one, bro.
Because there is a possible welterweight title shot laying on the line on this fight. If Nate Diaz wins, you bet your ass the UFC is going to put him in line for a title shot.
Yeah. I'm going for Nate Diaz. I don't care.
I love it. I really want Nate Diaz to win. It's probably going to be a Leon Edwards. But, man, I want to see Nate Diaz fight for that welterweight strap.
I really want Nate to win. I'm picking 100% with my heart.
Oh, that's going to be... Sometimes those are the best picks. I need that in my life. But to cap things off now, of
so
course,
you're going Nate too?
I'm going Leon.
Are you scared?
No,
he's scared. Everyone, look how scared he is.
What's your point? Blake?
Scaredy cat, bro.
What's your point? What do you want from me? What do you want?
Safe.
I'm just trying to defend my title, Blake.
Yeah, get out of here.
I'm trying to defend my title.
It's your bedtime in Idaho.
Just let me defend my title. I don't even want to hear it. Okay.
Trash.
Dick. Time to cap things off with the Nene of the week, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, if you don't know how this works by now, essentially what a Nene to get Nene, that essentially means like to get dunked on, to get effed. You got played, you got messed up. It is ultimately what it is. And then, I mean, it's almost apparent for who really got Nene this week. And that is anyone that paid hard-earned money. Or just, maybe if it wasn't hard-earned. If it's just money at all. Anyone that paid for Mayweather versus Logan Paul is a moron. They got Nene. You got robbed. And you're in a worse position for it. And I really have no sympathy for you.
Get Nene.
It's catching on with you, Blake. It's about damn time, my man. Yeah. Oh, also, honorable mention, Blake Campbell's Twitter account.
Got Nene. We'll be back up and running, though. I can tweet again.
Okay, good. Because we all miss you talking.
It's like a 10.5 hour ban.
Oh, okay. That's nothing crazy.
I'm too big. Something light.
No, I always love seeing you get in arguments with random people on Twitter. It's good fun, Blake, because you're exciting when you do that.
I try to hold back nowadays. Try to, be the bigger person.
Wait, trying to toe the company line?
It's just tough. Tough to be a mature adult sometimes. I like to just talk garbage.
Yeah, but unfortunately we have to grow up. Maybe not yet, though. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of UFC Talk. It's always a pleasure hanging out with all of you, and we thank you so much for your continual support of the show. Speaking of support of the show, let's go ahead and thank our patrons this week. Shout out to Ray Rodriguez, and for all of your card collecting needs, go on over to Instagram and follow at The Big Bat Box. Thank you to Ryan Watson and Neil Wiley and his YouTube channel, Chosen Problems. Blake, your thoughts about Mayweather versus Paul in one word or phrase?
Lackluster.
And lackluster is a very good way to put it. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you after a gigantic battle in the desert.